Hey everybody, Charlie here, and I want to kind of walk through just real quick how we want our athletes here at CrossFit Regeneration to try and approach 16.2. So we found out what the workout is. I'm going to kind of just briefly walk through that with you guys real quick. We have 4-minute time windows for these, and I want our athletes to consider them like checkpoints. So if you think about, okay, you've accomplished what is required for this in the time given, that 4 minutes, then you get to keep going. If you don't finish it in that time given, then you have to stop, and that's your score at the time that the time cap hits, the checkpoint hits. So the first 4 minutes, and every kind of buy-in is fairly similar. So there's a buy-in of 25 reps of toes to bar, 50 double unders. Now the scaled option there is knees above hips. The requirements for toes to bar and knees above hips kind of are similar. You have to have your feet pass below the parallel plane of the bar. So wherever the bar is hanging, your feet have to pass behind that to constitute a completed rep. So with the toes to bar, the same idea holds true. You have to pull your feet behind the bar, the bottom of the bar, and then touch your toes to the bar at the same time between your hands. With double unders, we know the requirements for that. It's fairly straightforward and simple. We've done them for a long time. But the scaled are using single unders for this. And then we have a descending rep scheme as you progress through these checkpoints on our squat cleans. Now the squat clean has to start from the floor, has to pass through the bottom of the squat, and then stand up. Now that means, based on what we were reading in the thing, in the requirements, that you can do a power clean and descend into a front squat. It doesn't have to be caught in the bottom of the squat. But you do have to finish standing up with your elbows in front of the bar before you drop it. Otherwise, we have to no rep you. First weight for this, 135 for the men, 85 for the women is the RX, and then 95 pounds for men and 55 pounds for women is scaled. If you're a teen or one of our masters athletes, then make sure you check the requirements for that. I'm just going to be referring specifically to the RX and scaled here in this video. But if you make it through those 15, then we've got a new 4-minute clock. You can start immediately if you finish with in 3 minutes or 2 minutes or something like that, which would be ridiculous. But if you finish before that 4-minute clock goes off, then you can jump right into your next round. And then you have until the 8-minute point to complete the next set, and then so on and so forth. The weights get progressively heavier. The requirements still remain the same. One important note is that there will be a tiebreaker for people who get to the same rep, and that is going to be the time with which you finish your last double under. So if you get right here and you can't finish all these cleans, you get to 12 cleans or something like that, then you're going to be tied with all the other people who finished 12 cleans. Your breaker is going to be where you finish your 50th double under. So make sure your judge makes a note of that on the sheet. We've got score sheets available for everybody for the workout. So that's going to be written in there. Make sure your judge looks up at that at the clock when you finish your last double under. All right, so here's how I kind of have thought through this for you guys. I've talked to a few of our athletes who've already completed this workout, this is kind of my recommendation for this based on how we've been training over the past year. So for the warm-up, I want you to keep in mind this is going to be a prolonged sprint. Okay, so you're going to be sprinting for this workout. Know that you're going to be out of breath. And I don't want your heart rate to spike for the very first time in the middle of this workout, or in the beginning of this workout for that matter. So I want you to have gotten your heart rate up, to a pretty good rate before the workout starts, and then you can bring it back down in the meantime. But 20 minutes or so before the workout, maybe a little longer than that, do some sprints on the rower, just short, maybe 150 meters, 200 meters at the most, and then or potentially some Aerodyne sprints. Go jog, get your heart rate up, get yourself a little bit out of breath, stretch out your lungs some, because you're going to need that stretch for when this workout is actually going. Then you can jump into our normal class warm-up with the, across the room kind of mobility stuff that we've been working through. And then finally do some reps. I want you to get reps in on the toes to bar, not so many that you're going to kind of wear out your grip or even hurt your hands or anything like that. But do some reps of toes to bar, do some double unders, kind of feel that groove a little bit, and then start building up towards a little bit heavier than you even think you can get to on the full clean. Sorry about the noise, there's kids in the other room. But so do reps, get yourself ready, prepare your body, and then when it's your turn to go in there and dominate. And here's kind of some ideas for approaching this workout. Know yourself. I want you to know that you are different and unique from the people around you, and so if they jump out to a quick lead on the toes to bar and you're a little bit slower on toes to bar, then just know, okay, well maybe I can catch them on the double unders or the full cleans. But just be aware of those things. Don't let kind of the excitement of the moment freak you out and send you into a hizzy. So know yourself, know your limitations, and based on kind of my understanding of the athletes we have at this gym, we need to break up the toes to bar early. I know we have people who can knock out 20 or 30 toes to bar unbroken. That's a good thing, but don't do that for this workout. Deliberate sets, like we'll get into the idea for that here down in a second. But deliberate sets, short ones, and then have a short break. And so what I mean by that is maybe like do 5 reps, walk to your barbell, back, do 5 more reps, walk to your barbell and back. Make that rest a very deliberate rest, something that you know how fast you're going to go, you know exactly how much time you're going to take, and then jump right back up on the bar and knock out those next few reps. 25 can become a daunting number when you get a couple of rounds in, if you're able to get into the next rounds. And so what I want to recommend is breaking them up mentally in your head at small sets. I can do 5. I don't know that I can do 25, but I can do 5. I'll break this and walk around for a second and then come back and do 5 more. So yeah, big idea here is those breaks need to be short. They need to be really brief and probably shorter than you would feel comfortable doing. But get back up on the bar. Second thing, know that you're going to be out of breath. I know the athletes on the video yesterday didn't look like they were struggling with their wind that much. And that's the difference between them and us. We will be out of breath. We will be sucking wind from the beginning. Embrace that reality. Don't freak out. It's going to be okay. We've been out of breath a lot of times in this gym. So just recognize that that's going to happen. You're not going to keep it from happening. So don't freak out. If you're a scaled athlete, be prepared for a longer workout. The toes to bar is a hanging knee raise, so you're going to pull your feet behind the bar and you're going to pull your knees up past hip crease. So that's a substantially easier rep and a substantially faster rep maybe for most of our athletes. So be prepared for a longer workout. You'll be able to get through these rounds quite a bit faster, assuming you can do squat cleans. If you're an RX athlete, recognize Dan Bailey's a freak. If you get through the first round, that's a big deal. Okay, we may have a few people who get all the way through the first round, so make it a target to get through the first round. If you do that, the rest of the reps are bonus. Now, if you're one of our more top level athletes, great. Get through the first, second, third round, like hustle through these things and try. But recognize that Dan Bailey's we're not on his level. We're not going to be able to do that, at least not in this year's Open. So the workout yourself, like if scaled, we're thinking that's going to be a longer workout, 16 to 20 minutes. If you're or 12, even 12, that's relatively longer. If you're RX, 4 minutes is going to be a big deal to get past. Okay. All right, some strategies to think through. On the toes to bar, let's see if I can get this thing down here. On the toes to bar, do short sets. And we have, over the course of the past 3 or 4 months, set up our programming to where we know what your 1 set max reps of toes to bar is. And so I'm saying do short sets, less than 40% of that best set, your PR on unbroken toes to bar. But keep your rest breaks under 10 seconds. So if you can do 10 toes to bar, only do 4, right? Do 4, drop off the bar, rest for less than 10 seconds, and then do 4 more. Try and get yourself through it that way. If you're scaled, I'm going to say do bigger sets, probably substantially bigger sets, with just a little bit longer rest. You can take a little bit more than 10 seconds with this because those sets are going to be quick. You can kind of manage your way through them a little bit easier. Okay, with double unders, this is the hard reality of it. Don't miss, don't stop. So if you can do double unders, do them. Don't stop, don't rest. or don't rest, sorry, don't stop and don't miss. Right here, embrace the reality that you're going to be out of breath. It's going to be a hard thing. The muscles that you use for double unders are not going to really come into play with the cleans all that much. It's just going to be the fatigue from being out of breath. That's going to be the same idea for the scale with single unders. If you haven't been doing single unders, then you need to get in here early and practice that. It's going to be a little bit of a different rhythm than what you've been trying to do with trying to get all these double unders. And then finally with the cleans, I'm going to recommend doing singles. That was the strategy that the guys on the show had last night, and that was incredibly successful. It's not like that holding onto the bar is going to make that much of a speed increase for you. So drop the bar every time. It's going to be good for your grip after having hung on the bar for the toes to bar that many times. So just do a single, do a clean, stand it up, make sure it's a good rep, drop it, and as soon as it stops bouncing around on the floor, grab it again, do another one. Okay. Big idea here is get back to that bar quickly. Don't let it intimidate you by staying there motionless. And then finally, you guys are ready for this. We've been doing this stuff all year. You're as prepared as you can be for this thing, so go in there and just dominate it. All right, that's enough talking for now. If you have specific questions, please let me know. Thanks.